fellow MetaManiacs, Mike the Pied Piper here, and for those of you that have seen quite a few of our videos, you've probably noticed that I have a different background behind me. Well, kind of wanted to liven it up a little bit, and I'm right below my loft bed here, so I figured I'd put like a nice, kind of a little, it's not a poster, it's kind of like one of those big sheets, and I figured it would kind of liven up the videos a little bit. And then also, eventually, I'm going to get a green screen, and then when I get the green screen, then that way I can appear wherever I want. So, pretty excited about that. So, this deck profile video, again, we want to go, a lot of people have been asking about, like, budget build decks that are competitive, that can do, decent in the environment, that don't cost a lot of money, doesn't break the bank. These are also really good deck profile videos to watch if you're wanting to build this type of deck and you just need like a base form, and then obviously, you know, some of the more, you might put some of the more expensive cards or some of the newer cards that are coming out. But this deck profile that I'm going through is a Bulma deck, and Bulma is really, really defensive, which allows you to play the late game, and it's got some really, really interesting powers. So I'm going to go right into it. I'm going to bring up the deck profile here. So first off, what's really nice about this deck build is it costs $59 to build. And really, there's only one expensive card in here, and that's the SS4 Goku, A Heartfelt Plea. If you decided to only run like 2 or 3 of those, that would even lower this deck price even more. And this actually plays a lot of free cards, and that's what I love about this deck. It plays free cards, no energy, plays them for free, bunch of active blockers on board with Bulma, and Bulma draws a lot of cards. So you've got a leader that draws a bunch of cards, that can play a bunch of free cards, that is super defensive, and can go in for game pretty easy. So I really, really do like this deck. Fun deck to play. Again, $59 to build, so nice. We're going to kind of get into how the deck works and how the combos work, so I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. So for those of you that are not familiar with the Bulma Leader at first sight, like if you weren't even going to look at the powers, you're like, wow, 5,000 and 10,000, a really weak leader, just asking to get beat up on. But what's really nice about this leader is, number one, it has a permanent that all red and yellow Earthling and Saiyan cards in your battle area gain blocker. So now any battle card you're playing that's either a red or a yellow, I mean, it gains blocker. So you could build your board up super wide and go super defensive really quick. What I love about the Bulma Leader is it has an activate main once per turn, draw a card. You don't even need to attack. So your first turn, normally when you go first, you're down a card. Sometimes you're even down 2 cards because your leader says when this leader card attacks, draw a card. You're not able to attack first turn. You're not able to draw a card off your leader power. With Bulma, you can instantly start building your hand right away. As a matter of fact, you draw so much in this deck. That is actually why I decided to go with 60 cards with this deck. Just because you can afford to put the extra 10 in there. You're going to get what you need just merely based upon how many cards you're drawing and how defensive you can be. So I'm going to get right into how this deck works. So, basically how the deck works is you've got quite a few 1-drops. So I'll kind of get into, like, for example, Heroic Duo Videl. You can go super defensive early in the game because this card literally is a counterattacker and a blocker. So when you counterattack with this card, you have to turn around and play it. So for 1 energy, you're counterattacking, and then you get to play a blocker. So super, super good. You get a lot of value, really cheap, cost 1, bam. So you're essentially stopping two attacks right at the beginning of the game. So I do run the Heroic Duo Videl. I also run a lot of, and there's so many connections in this deck, and that's why I love it. Like, cards pair well with each other. So what's really nice about when you run the Heroic Duo, like Videl, is it's going to allow you to build up your energy for some of your later stuff. Like I run the 1-drop Sun Goten rushing in. Again, it's a blocker because of Bulma's power, gains revenge. So like you have this out, your opponent is going to have to get rid of this card before they attack with their big guy. So like I really love running this. But here's where a lot of the combo stuff starts coming in. I have played around with doing a red-green version of this deck instead of the red-yellow version, because the red-green version does have some good arrival stuff, and then also the super combo allows you to play stuff. However, I feel like the red-yellow version of this deck plays so many free cards, which essentially means so many free blockers and so many free attackers, that I had to go with the red-yellow version. So let's kind of get into that first. So I do run the arrival cards, King Vegeta and Vegeta Royal Bloodline, and I run the Vegeta and Bulma Joined by Fate. These cards are really there for arrival. Super easy. You just got to combo a red or yellow card from your hand, which in general you will be using your super combo in order to play these. Super easy. Again, combo, you get to put this card onto the battlefield, and it's a 20k, essentially a 20k blocker, and it draws a card to replace itself. So again, you're just getting this big, huge, massive hand. So I do run these. What's really nice about these cards is when you use the super combo to minus opponent's card by 10k, you get to play the SS3 Goku one-hit wonder for free, because whenever you decrease one of your opponent's battle cards, you get to play this card for free. So, again, you're playing another free card. Once you have a lot of your arrival stuff out and you got a lot of your little guys out on the field, you can play Mercenary Tau, Unequaled Assassin for free, which is essentially, a crit battle card. 15k and it gains crit. And then also, keep in mind it is human, so it would be a blocker as well. So you're playing this for free when you have enough battle cards out. You're playing this for free once you neg something by 10k. You're playing these cards for really cheap, which is great attackers as well. Then you have the, I do run the Intensified Power Trunks. The reason I run this card, it is a 1-drop that can get cards from your life if your opponent's going to try to go defensive on you. Normally they don't, but I did want to run a Trunks GT in this deck because you want to be able to evolve it with chain attack Trunks. So you play the 1-drop Intensifying Power Trunks, and then the next turn, pay 2 energy, evolve that Trunks. Then you can go into, this allows you to play a 15k battle card from your hand for free, which you could play either the SS4 Son Goku Saiyan lineage, you could play the Fearless Pan, you could play, if you needed to play this, you could play the SS Goku One-Hit Wonder. Just everything kind of synergy in the deck. And once this deck gets going and gets that super wide board, like, it's just going to tear your opponent up. So, there are multiple ways. You'll notice I do run the SS4 Son Goku A Heartfelt Plea. There are multiple ways in this deck to ensure that you get up to that 25k. You get that red card that's the 25k. So the first thing, what you can do is you could play any one of these 20k cards, and then you could turn around and run the Rushing Warrior Pan. This is just a 1-drop. When you play this card, you choose one of your red leader cards or red battle cards, and it gains plus 5k for the duration of the turn. So you arrival the turn before, then you turn around and play this, give plus 5k to one of your battle cards, and then when you combo with this card, you get to draw one. Or again, because it is a human, it would also be a blocker. So, or human and Saiyan, so it would be a blocker. So you could either do that, you could play the SS4 Son Goku Saiyan lineage, which is another way for you to get out your SS4 Son Goku A Heartfelt Plea when you awaken. So you could do that to draw the 2. You could also do Fearless Pan. When you play Fearless Pan for the turn, again, if you arrivaled these cards the previous turn and you got that super wide board, you could turn around, pay 3, pay the Fearless Pan, give all these guys double strike, and then turn around, awaken, and now play the SS4 Son Goku A Heartfelt Plea. And yeah, you've got so many, like so much value on the board already. You're doing all these attackers, and then when you awaken, you untap 2 energy. Then, not to mention, this guy got offering, so you're even getting more cards into your hand. So it's just absolutely insane on how many cards can get in your hand. The other way you can do it is with actually the Vegeta Elite Unison. So this is, the reason I run this is it only costs 2 red. And when this card attacks, you add a marker to it, then choose one of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 5k for the turn. Which again, SS Goku one-hit wonder. This is just another way for you to get that free card out. And then you can -1, choose one of your red battle cards or leader cards, and it gets plus 5,000 for the turn and can attack your opponent's battle cards in active mode for the turn. So again, you can give one of your 20k red battle cards, even this Son Goku Dawn of Affinity, give it that plus 5k to get it to that 25k so you can turn around and play SS4 Son Goku a Heartfelt Plea when you awaken. So tons and tons of different ways for you to get out the Heartfelt Plea. Tons of ways that you're drawing cards, either with a rival or with offering or with the SS4 Son Goku lineage. Not to mention on Bulma, on her Awaken side, and activate main, you get to draw 2. So you could activate main, draw 1 on her, awaken, untap 2 energy, get on her other side, activate main, draw 2 more cards, along with the SS4 Son Goku Heartfelt Plea to draw 2 more cards. You're going to have some massive, massive, massive hand size with this deck. You're going to have a whole bunch of cards you're going to be able to play with. The other thing is, once you get out the SS4 Son Goku Heartfelt Plea, just so you don't feel like that you're over-tapped or that you're leaving yourself wide open, if you have a bunch of these combination attack pans in your hand, well, your Goku is now 25k. So you have a 25, or actually you have a 30k on field. You only need it to be 25, but you have a 30k on field. You can now play a bunch of these combination attack pans from your hand for free. And guess what? These are also blockers that can block when your opponent tries to attack. So you can have all of this out on the field. Then I also run 4 of the Dependable Robot Gyros. Another free card that you get to play from your hand. All you got to do is have a 1-drop pan out, or your 3-drop combination attack pans out, or hey, let's say you're even going to go all in one turn and you're going to pay the 3 energy to play Fearless Pan because you got a super wide board. Throw out a couple of these blockers out, and now all of a sudden you can attack with all your guys, you can attack with your arrival folks, and you know that you have backup blockers just waiting to block. So really, really fun deck to play. It is a surprise deck. Like a lot of this, you're going to sit down. It's not your average Bulma deck, but it's super cheap to play and super fun. Finally, the 2 cards that I haven't talked about yet. Number 1, the SS4 Son Goku Dawn of Affinity. I do run 2 of these in the deck. It does pair well with this arrival card, the Vegeta Bulma Joined by Fate. When this card is played, you draw a card, and then once per turn for a red-yellow, choose up to one of your yellow Saiyan cards and the energy cost of 3 and 20,000 power, and play it. So it pairs really well, because now this is only a 2 cost, and again, you're playing a 2 cost with crit, with offering to draw up to 2 more cards, already having an extremely huge hand. So you're just even getting more value. And then finally, the SCR that I run in the deck is the Sin Shenron Negative Energy Incarnate. Now, you'll notice this only costs 1 yellow energy to play. And you'll notice that really, in your turn for this deck, you're only going to need to play one of your multicolor red-yellow cards. You really only need 1 yellow energy at any one time. So that's why you'll notice I don't play the check lands, the ones where you get to keep laying the red-yellow as long as you got a multicolor. There's no point, because you only really need 1 red-yellow energy in your energy at one time. So that's really nice. And then when you play this, for every 1 drop that you have in your drop area, this actually reduces the cost of this card by 1. Well, we have plenty of 1 drops in the deck. We have the Heroic Duo Videl, we got 4 of those, we got 3 of the Intensifying Power Trunks, we have 4 of the Rushing Warrior Pans. We have 3 of the Sun Goten Rushing In. A lot of 1 drops in the deck. 4, 8, 11, 14. So almost 25% of the deck, a little less than 25% of the deck, is actually one drops. That's going to be able to help you fuel to play this card for literally one energy, next to nothing. So imagine having all of these blockers on field, and then late game, you turn around, you get the Sin Shenron, you play this, they can't KO this card, and your opponent is just yanking out their hair because they can't do any damage to you because of all these blockers, and you got the negates and everything else in the deck. And then, yeah, like, super, super fun deck to play. Love playing it. Sure, it does have its weaknesses. I will tell you, a Janemba deck with the mill, even with this thing being 60 cards, the amount of cards that you're drawing in your hand will absolutely tear this up. Blue, it does, if you run into a blue deck that runs Android 17, Turning the Tide, because this deck, because it is so defensive, it gets that 7 drop out, it can literally just destroy your hand. There are going to have to find a way to get around all your blockers. So that'll be something that they'll need to do. I know a lot of blue decks, they do run that Ultra Instinct Sign Goku, the one that puts all the cards into your hand. So there is that. But what's really nice about that is if you have this person out on field, you're going to be like, great, I get to put my Videl back in my hand? Awesome. Well, I got my negate now. So it is a super, super fun deck to play. I highly recommend you try it. If you are getting someone into the card game, this is something that you can easily build for them. Again, when we look at the price, $59. And really, the most expensive card in the deck is the SS4 Son Goku, A Heartfelt Please. So if you decided you wanted to reduce that down to 2, again, this deck, you're looking at about a $40 deck. That's super fun. Get your girlfriend, your wife, your friends, show them what Bulma's really made of. So let me go back to the full screen here. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This budget build series, we've been getting a lot of positive feedback from just people just not wanting to spend 200, 300, 400, like these massive deck prices, and they feel like the only way they're ever going to win any games is literally spending that much on cards, and that is nothing further from the truth. I mean, the thing is be that rogue, look at some of the cards, buy these cards early, because a lot of times when they build support for them, they shoot right up in price. There's quite a few cards that I can think of. Like, I know the Yellow Apes, when they first came out, I remember when I was at Nationals, those were going for like $10 each. $10, $15 each, and now they're up to 80, 90. At one time they were even higher. So if you do see a really good card and it just doesn't have the combo support for it yet, I'd recommend picking it up now when it's cheap, and then that way when they do make the support for it, the cards are just going to go up in value. So that way you'll be ready and you'll have the cards that you need. So alright, fellow MetaManiacs, I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to say a thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. Trent from TAC Games and Renee, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being supporters. And I hope you guys like these videos. If you want me to do a deck profile video over your video or your deck, I'm always on Untap. So if you guys see me on Untap, I'm always testing my Set 2 Zamasu deck. I'm going to actually be playing in the tournament this weekend, so I'm quite excited. I've got my deck ready here. Got my Set 2 Zamasu, so ready to go. I'm doing a more aggressive build with it, so I'm finding that a lot of people are like, they're playing wider decks. They're not playing like the big guys, so I'm kind of shying away from going the Tragedy Overground route. I'm going away from that, so it's a little bit more aggressive, but it can also take a lot of damage just because of few Zamasu's Awaken side, where I discard top 5 anytime you do damage. So, but alright, fellow MetaManiacs, I will talk to you later. Your wish has been granted, and see you next week. Bye.